Hey everybody, welcome to a new Let's Play. This game is Plants vs. Zombies. A very unique name for a very unique game. Indeed it is. This game's pretty old, I believe. Quite a few years. I did play it when it initially first came out. It is a really amazing game. I know many of you have probably played it, and there's even few of you who've probably never heard of it, but it's a very good game, released by PopCap Games on their website for PC at first, but now it's on Xbox, it's on cell phones, you know, it's on everything. So if you haven't heard of it, well, that's why you have me here. We're going to let's play together and figure it out. So we're going to play on my profile, but I do have another profile in which I've obviously played the game to its fullest extent. But yeah, I do have an older version of the game as well, so that I can show off a few things that they have in future releases of the game they took out, so it'll give you a nice little backstory there. Anyway, there's a few modes of the game, but we can't play any of them now except for adventure, so let's do it. But this game, it's very cute. It's very cute and very fun at the same time, and it can actually get pretty hard. We're going to restart because I did accidentally fuck up a recording already. Only was a minute in. But anyway, premise is pretty simple here. The zombies are going to... They want to get inside your house and eat your brains, like all good zombies do, right? So this is our house over here on the left, and on the right are the zombies. This is the only thing protecting us is our lawn. So naturally, the only thing we're going to use to stop zombies are plants. So we use these seed packets to plant plants on our lawn. Nicely done, yes. And we use that to kill the zombies. Now, how do we fuel our plants? Well, plants cost sun to create, so sun naturally falls from the sky, and we will use that to grow our plants. So each plant costs a certain amount of sun. You use that sun to plant plants, and the plants will destroy the zombies. Now, as the game fills out here, we will get more rows in the next coming levels, and we will have to defend all these rows of our lawn. And that's pretty much how you manage the game, is in rows. And the game will get even harder eventually. A pool will be added into the middle of the lawn. We'll have to fight them at nighttime. Just, you know, crazy shit will ensue. This is just the tutorial, basically. So, yeah, and this is level 1-1. Each world has 10 levels, and there are 5 worlds in the game. So, just to give you plant as many of these guys as we can. Now, obviously, there are going to be more plants later in the game, but as you can see, this one's called the Peashooter. And then we unlock the most integral flower in the game, the sunflower. Anyway, the sunflower here gives you additional sun. By the way, the brand of the seeds here are Bloom and Doom Seed Company. A lot of puns in this game. But yeah, so sunflowers we'll use to produce extra sun than just that falls from the sky. This will especially come into play later in night levels where there is no sun. Oh, look at this. Tripling our output. You may be overwhelmed at this point, don't worry. Sunflowers are an extremely important plant. Indeed they are. They're always the first thing you're going to want to plant to get yourself a nice backstock of sun, because that's the backbone of this game. Without sun, you cannot plant plants. And without plants, you are defenseless against the zombies. Something else you may notice here are we have lawnmowers on each row. What that does is it's an additional protection mode from the zombies. If they do happen to get through all your plants, the lawnmower will mow down one whole row of zombies for one time, and one time only. If they then get through that row again, you will lose. So usually what I like to do for each level is I will plant 2 rows of sunflowers because I like to have an excess of sun, just because. So that's what we'll do. Anyway, the premise of the game is pretty simple, but I'll keep explaining things while we're in the tutorial here just to get through it because, you know, fuck it, right? Fuck it, what else is there to fucking talk about? Okay, we're not gonna curse in this LP, that's not gonna happen. Just not gonna happen, dude. But anyway, you may be asking yourself, Scope, why are you starting another LP right here, right now? Aren't you already doing Super Smash Brothers? And, well, Super Smash Brothers might be done by the point I upload this, but already Omega Ruby. And then also I had another LP, I don't know if it'll be up by this point, but I'll say it right now and I'll edit it out if it's not up. The Last Guardian Blind. Isn't that enough of a project for a guy who has a full-time job? Well, the answer is yes. But you know what? I've been watching NCS's LP of this, which is very old, but very good. It's probably his most popular one, oddly enough. I mean, like, it's fun to watch, and I watched it again. I'm like, why is this his most popular LP? I kind of want to watch it again to just see why, but, you know, it's just really one of those things you can't explain. It's like an anomaly. Like, why is my Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories my best performing LP, you know? I don't think there was anything special about it other than that it was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. You know, so what set it apart? I don't feel like I, you know, performed particularly well in the game or anything. So what's the big deal, you know? It's just one of those things you don't know. Just perfect timing, perfect crowd. I mean, who knows, man? But it did get me in the mood of playing this, especially watching him play because, yeah, he's really good, but, you know, he brain farts a lot, and I like to come at this game very technically, and although I fuck up once in a while too, we all do, you know, seeing somebody else play really makes you want to play it your own special way, you know? Anyway, this new seed here we have is the Cherry Bomb, blows up all zombies in an area. That may sound a little better than it is. It's pretty good. It's 150 sun, so it's not extremely expensive, but it's one of these plants that I like to call emergency plants that will take care of some zombies quick and in a pinch if you need to, but it will not solve the problem of oncoming zombie slots, but oncoming zombie onslaughts, but it will temporarily solve if, you know, some zombies are getting a little too close. Basically, it will kill zombies. When you set it down, it'll have like a blast radius of 1 or 2 squares all the way around where you set it, transcending columns. It's one of the very few plants that does that. Almost all the other temporary plants will only kill enemies in a certain row. This one can kill them in multiple rows, so that's why it's the most expensive emergency plant. Okay, so we're still not going to get our extra rows here. It looks like there are 2 rows at the top to be added, but there's only 1. But yeah, it's essentially impossible to lose in these levels, so you don't have to fret about it, you know? But, yeah. Other than the adventure mode, this game actually has a lot to offer. I think NCS's LP ended up being 51 parts, but, you know, that's back when there was, you know, 10 and 15-minute time limits. Oh, I remember those. I remember those days. Good old YouTube days. Okay, this guy's gonna... They sent the first one out early here, so... Normally what you do in a situation like this, almost every level, when the first few zombies come out and you're still setting up your sunflowers and, you know, building up your stuff, is you send out one of the other emergency plants that will take out one zombie instead of having to, you know, already assert your offense, your expensive plants early on before you can get all your sunflowers out. But, you know, we don't have access to that yet, so don't you dare use cherry bombs. I don't know what you'd be thinking if you're using cherry bombs on this level already. I think that's why they send these guys out early. They kind of want you to get a feel for, hey, use a cherry bomb, you know? Kind of want to force you to use the new plan, you know? A lot of games do that. They give you something new, and then immediately after give you something you have to use to, you know, use that item on. But, what am I saying? You know, they give you the fire spell, and then they give you a boss who's weak to fire. See what I mean? Anyway, we got our first new zombie here. This is a Conehead Zombie. Basically, he's just more defensive than the regular zombie. Normal zombies take 10 hits to kill. Their arm will fall off after 5. And then their head will pop off and they will die after an additional 5. Coneheads, I believe, take 20 hits. So I believe they have double the defense. I believe it takes 10 hits to kill their cone, then 10 hits to kill them. So if you want to focus your energy on killing them first before anything, because they're more likely to get through your defenses, obviously. So yeah. Like, for example, if I had the choice of putting a Peashoot in either row here, obviously I'm putting this one because that's the most immediate threat. But yeah, one of the funnest part of this game that makes it so, you know, tactical is that there are so many different types of plants you can use and so many different setups you can do. And there's also just so many types of zombies that go along with it, you know? So it's like it's just a huge gamble, and you know, you're managing so many rows and they can come anywhere. You know, you never know which rows are going to be bombarded, if any, you know. And it's different every time. That's what's great about it. It's I don't know, it's fun. But anyway, this is another new plant, of course. Pretty much every level through adventure mode you'll be getting a new plant here. This is the walnut. Blocks off zombies and protects your other plants. Again, kind of an ambiguous thing. You just got to kind of use it to figure it out. Description, walnut. So these things, you set them out, they do not attack. They will just sit there and take hits, but they take a lot of hits. Probably something, it takes a zombie like 30 or 40 chews, I would say, or 20 maybe, to eat through it. So you can set one up in a pinch and it'll keep a zombie locked there for a while. Very useful, but there's a plant later on that completely outclasses it, and after you get that plant, you'll never use a walnut again. Look at this, we got our full yard. Badass. I am going to try to keep these videos to 15 minutes, though. I don't know, part of me is feeling nostalgic. You know, like, oh, let's do the 15-minute time limit. Because, you know, it kind of forces you to get as much done as you can and kind of just go nuts when the video, you know. But if we go over, it's not a big deal, but I kind of want to just do that. Plus, you know, we'll get more parts out of it. It'll be funner. It'll be a longer LP. Force me to record separate sessions more instead of doing it all in one. Once again, we have none of those cheap emergency plants that I like to use early on, so we need another sun or it's going to be too late. There we go. Okay, I'm going to have to put him back there. If I put him here, he's going to get eaten before he kills him, so don't worry about it. I guess for now, we'll just do one row of sunflowers. It should be plenty. I mean, before you think about it, we had the 3 rows. We were putting 6 sunflowers up. We've got 5 now. It's not really a big difference. But I tell you, man, later on when like we get to the night levels and that sun falling from the sky isn't coming, you're going to need a lot more sun production. See, and in this situation, I'm not even sure where the next zombie is going to come out. There you go. See, I was going to put him here. Then we would have been struggling to get another one out there real quick. Also, each plant has a certain recharge time. Generally, the more useful they are and the more expensive they are, the more cheaper they are, actually, the longer the recharge time. So that's something to keep in mind. Peashooters here, your basic plant and sunflowers all have very, very fast recharge times because, you know, sunflowers are useful, but you need to plant them quick. So that's why their recharge time is fast. And as for Peashooters, well, they're not super great. Same thing with the walnut. You know, as soon as we unlock the upgraded version of the Peashooter, you'll never use the Peashooter again. There's literally no reason to. Okay, let's see. It looks like no Coneheads, so we'll just, doesn't matter which row we put that one out on. Fairly basic here. I mean, no strategy involved. I can't wait till the strategy portions get involved. That's when it becomes fun. Funner. It's already fun, but, you know, World 1 as a whole is kind of a joke. I think it's safe to say that. You know, you don't want to jinx yourself, but then again, if I die on World 1, even with, you know, an act of God in there, it'd still be amazing. And honestly, I don't even need to put anything else out. This could be enough to... But you know what? I need to show these plants, so let's show what these do. So this is a walnut. He'll just sit there. He'll literally do exactly what he says. He'll wall them. He's a wall, you know? Pokemon terms here. He's a wall. He's a defensive wall. He'll sit there and take hits, and then they'll be stuck over there. They won't get to your plants, and you just pelt on them. I guess we have an excess of sun here. I'll show you what a cherry bomb does as well. You know, you set a cherry bomb out, and boom! Look at that. Kill 5, 6 zombies all at once. So yeah, say you set it here, it'll explode pretty much all around that area. Sometimes if they're close enough to the second squares, it'll hit them too. It's got a pretty big blast radius, which is why it's a little expensive. And here we get a shovel. This is not a plant. Captain Obvious, right? K6 Scope, the intellect. Lets you dig up a plant to make room for another plant. Yeah, so the shovel, it'll, if you say you put a pea shooter somewhere and then you realize, I don't want the pea shooter there anymore, you can use this and dig it up. You may say, why would I ever do that? You know, you could make a mistake and plant a plant in the wrong area, or you could decide after you plant it there, you know what, this would be a better spot. Maybe I want to make another row of sunflowers, so I want to put my sunflowers here. It's very rare that you use it, but there are situations where you do need it. Seems like something they should give you automatically, but you know, this is their way of introducing it to you. But anyway, we're at probably close to 15 minutes here, so I'm actually going to end the episode there. We'll click on the next level, And it's going to put plants out here. Oh god, greetings neighbor. Who the hell is this fat, white, bearded man with a pot on his head? Well, that is going to be the cliffhanger. That's the best I can do for cliffhangers. Sorry, guys. I'll see you next time on Plants vs. Zombies, where we get introduced to this fine fella. See you guys.